What's on the playlist, baby? What's on the playlist, baby? What's on the playlist, baby? What's on the playlist?
Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode 76 of What's on the Playlist, the podcast where we spin stories, drop knowledge, and connect with the people who make the wedding world go round. My name is Chris Romero.
My name is Tony Pacheco.
And my name is Victoria.
Yeah. And today we're going to talk about our recent events because it's been a minute since we've been with you guys. We've got a bunch of events to talk about that we've had recently. And then we actually have a topic we're going to dive into. Well, it's kind of a topic. It's more of just wedding hot takes that have come up recently. And we're going to drop some of those on your ears and see what you guys all think. So anyways, it's good to be back.
It is.
Welcome back.
Very good to
Love
be
it.
back.
Yeah, happy to be back.
Yeah.
Too long.
We've got some new podcast microphone arms here that you can see on YouTube, but you can't see on Spotify.
You can't hear them on Spotify.
Spotify.
I am moving it right
That's
now.
a good thing.
Yeah,
And it is quiet.
I know.
This is
Smooth.
very nice. Smooth.
We're leveling up. We're leveling up here in the studio with the podcast. So, anyways, it's good to be back. We've had a few events, so I think we're just going to jump right into it.
Yeah, I've had quite a few.
I've had some, and
It's busy
honestly,
season. It's wedding season.
I just don't even remember some of them. So we'll talk
good.
about some of them and see what I can remember from my events here. It's probably going to be the more recent ones.
Yeah.
But you guys want to start us off?
Yeah, I'll kick us off.
ahead, Victoria.
Yeah, like Tony said, it's been super busy. I've had a wedding every single weekend since the end of August, which has been incredible. I've worked with some amazing couples. But yeah, each wedding has been different in its own way. Each wedding has been very unique. A lot of couples that I've been working with these last couple of weeks have been very niche in terms of their music taste and what they like. So
What do you do? Did each wedding like kind of fit into a different category? Would you say?
yeah, definitely. Like my first wedding at La Posada, they were very into like kind of funky house music, kind of new disco. A ton of Sophie Tucker. They loved them.
Nice.
That was like their favorite group. So actually, like at the last, I would say 3 weddings, I have not played any hip hop music.
Oh wow.
None. Yeah.
Foreign for you.
It's very foreign for me. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I have been always said, I'm open format, but I've played mostly all of hip hop music my whole entire career. So it's challenging in like the greatest ways. And a
Sure.
lot of my couples are actually putting me on to music that I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, just really, really cool stuff.
No, it's one of my favorite parts about the job is when you get to go through all of their playlists and find just different
Yeah.
gems that you wouldn't think to know or make. I made a playlist for a couple and they wanted like this like funky bass soul kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And I was able to discover all this new music while doing my job. And that's one of the coolest things is when couples and
Exactly.
just people put you onto new stuff.
Yep.
And it's music is always fresh and new, but even finding old new stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Excuse me. And that's what I was going to say too. Like just stuff like that's just different. Last week at Hotel Albuquerque, my couple walked out to Fame by David Bowie,
Fire.
which just is a fire song, like
Yeah.
a classic. And I've never seen that. I have never had anybody walk out to that. Typically in the past, everyone walks out to, All I Do Is Win or Bring 'Em Out, kind of, more like 2000s hip hop type stuff. So it was just nice. It's been a nice change of pace, working with couples who have like super niche music tastes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It makes it more fun,
Nice.
you know?
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, for me, I'm basically like recapping all the weddings in September. So I was at, La Posada, Old Town Farm, Sandia, the event center, the golf center.
center.
of course.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see, where else? I got to attend a wedding. It seemed my fiance was like, you cannot do a wedding this weekend. It was the final weekend in September, and so we got to attend one. So
Oh,
that was really
awesome.
cool. Got to gain that perspective, and then I also shadowed a wedding with a wedding planner just to gain perspective. I talked to her about wanting to shadow one day. I was like, yeah, if you ever need an extra set of hands, I would love
That's cool.
I would love to gain a new perspective and just do it that way. And she's like, oh, for sure. So I helped her out on a wedding at like an art museum in Santa Fe and got to
Awesome.
just do linens and decor and help guide people with the guest book and get to kind of see a wedding through a different lens.
That's awesome. That is
Yeah.
so cool. And then too, like, obviously I'm sure, you were giving your best and,
course.
pressure was on. But also too, you didn't have that pressure that we usually have
It was
on
way
wedding
easier.
day. Yeah, as
Way
DJs.
easier.
So that's cool.
I was just like, I'm just dumb hands. Tell me what to do. I don't know,
Yeah.
But I was aware of like certain things. There was a point where I was helping catering pour waters because we had to start getting people moving into the space. So I'm aware of like wedding flow and how
Exactly.
the overall thing should go. But like gaining a new perspective too on like the music and who they hired. They went with like it didn't seem like a DJ, but just somebody who would provide sound. And how like the dad was the MC, and it all worked out. Of course, right? It's a wedding day, and people usually have the best attitude about it. But it made me understand my value as well as somebody who
Definitely.
can orchestrate the day, but also be a fantastic DJ, but also ask questions that you're not thinking about, right?
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, wow, we're all kicking butt at our jobs because like this felt different than what we would normally do. But the client was happy. They were super pumped about like they had a friend DJ for them for an hour that they had like brought their own CDJs and plugged into a sound system.
Oh,
So it worked out, and then they switched to a playlist, which was interesting to see how that played out because it like kind of worked, but it didn't. Every song would end, and then they'd go
Yeah.
into another song. But I was telling Chris
Yeah,
earlier,
cold and hard stops.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
it was interesting. They did a good job at the order of the playlist
Oh,
because the sound it was receptive. So what I learned in that moment was a lot of what we do is song choice in these settings,
Yeah.
and
I've always said song selection, I think, is
It's,
first and
it's
foremost.
huge.
It's the
Yeah.
biggest part of anything.
that was my
You can-
takeaway from
You can
that.
be an amazing mixer, scratcher, do all these fun, cool tricks,
Mhm.
but if you can't pick out the right song at the right moment, honestly, it won't matter.
Yeah, and that was what was
Yeah.
impressive to me. I was like, wow, they created this playlist perfectly. I was like, every song was hitting, it would die down, and then they would like, some would go to the bar, momentum would shift, but then certain songs would pull people
pull people
back.
back. Yeah.
Mm.
So I was just like, oh, okay. Well, it worked out for them. I thought
awesome.
everybody was happy, and then we were out of there by like 10. So I was happy with that too. I didn't have to tear down.
Exactly.
It's
yeah.
interesting, and it's cool that you got to do that because it's funny. People ask us all the time, more so when we aren't available. Well, who do you recommend, or have you heard anything about these DJs and things like that? We don't get to see other DJs.
Yeah.
Like I honestly, I couldn't tell you the last time I personally went to a wedding, like as a guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last one. It was probably somebody in my family or something like that. But I can't remember. Even then, I think it was like our DJs.
We'll go to a few.
Yeah.
And the one I went to last weekend, that one was actually I allowed myself to just enjoy myself and have fun. But before that, it's so hard for me to enjoy myself at a wedding and
Yeah.
just fully check
Yeah.
out. There's moments where I'm like, okay, why are they not doing this? Who's not thinking about this? Like, this is,
You getting anxiety.
yeah,
Yep,
it's
yep.
a problem because
Wedding vendor anxiety.
yeah, I care
Yeah.
about their day more than anybody else here.
Yep.
But I've seen it, and so it's hard for me to check out. But the DJ at the other wedding that we did last weekend, he was phenomenal. I threw him $20. I was like, bro, you're killing it. Thank you
Nice.
for letting me have
Nice.
fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because truly, it was like one of those moments where I was like having a blast. The music was good. I wasn't like in my head or like overthinking it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? A lot of times we're all judging him or her
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
overthinking it or just not like and allowing yourself to have fun.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know if this is true for everybody. You DJs out there can comment in the comments for us, but I've found that as I've gotten older, that has become easier for me.
Nice.
And I don't know. I don't know why that is. It's just like I think all of us initially as DJs, first of all, we DJs have egos. No,
Yeah,
right?
right. I
Um,
guess that.
And so I think when you're going to nightclubs and stuff like that, or even other events, you're always thinking, I would be doing way better. I would
Usually
be crushing
nightclubs,
this,"
I'm
right?
a little bit better.
Yeah.
I usually can get a couple drinks in me and just be like, yes, let's have some fun. But weddings are the time where I'm
Yeah.
like, I get that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. As I've gotten older, it's so much easier.
Yeah.
I'm at the point where I've completely let go, unless it's like
Good.
complete train wrecks.
Sure.
That's the
Yeah,
only thing,
yes,
right? Like if
absolutely.
it's like an absolute train wreck, then I might have to just remove myself from the situation. But that's pretty
Yeah.
far and few between. I've got to admit, like I'm always looking for new ideas, being open minded. Like I go in, like seeing if I see a new DJ, I'm like I get it kind of excited, right? I'm like, okay, I want to
Sure.
see what can this guy do? What's he gonna
Yeah,
play? Song choice.
absolutely.
Definitely.
And I love it just when I get just inspired, by.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of times it's even you can tell they're newer DJs. They're not train wrecking, but they're trying and they're trying to do different things,
Sure.
whether it's word plays and tone plays and things like that. I have
Yeah.
appreciation for that. I'm just like, you know what? That was a really good idea.
That was
Yeah,
me last
absolutely.
weekend. I was like, that was good, bro. That was good. I'm over here
Nice.
dancing and thinking like that.
What was
nice.
the wedding here in Albuquerque?
No, it was in Cabo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't
Oh,
want
there
to
we
just
go.
be
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
like that, but
yeah.
it was a
I thought you
good.
looked a little more tan this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did the resort, the all inclusive from
Nice.
Thursday to Sunday. It was a great time. The bride had the wedding on Friday,
Ooh.
so it allowed us to enjoy Saturday fully.
Nice.
You get to wake up. We did the pool. They have the swim up bars, all the great things, right?
Sounds fun.
It was good.
That's
It
awesome.
was a really fun time to in the hecticness of wedding season. This is
Yes.
the crazy season right now.
Yep.
To kind of stop and have a pause. I think I turned away like 6 weddings on this
Wow.
date specifically.
I believe it.
And it was a big wedding day. Selena Gomez got married that day. Who else was last Saturday? There was another big wedding. It's okay.
I know Selena Gomez for
There
sure.
was another one, but it's fine.
Last weekend?
Celebrity wedding, or I was thinking
not
like
sure.
everybody. I turned away so many weddings. You guys both
Yeah,
worked out.
we
I felt like
worked, yeah.
everybody was working last Saturday.
Yeah, and I feel like the same way too. Like after I booked that date, I feel like I turned down
9/27.
yeah, like a lot. Like it was just a huge day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those were good. It was good to gain that perspective, but I also had a bunch of fun weddings that I did great with. We've been having these trainees come on, so we're
Yep.
showing them a bunch of different things.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been nice having the help. And just to get some of you caught up, especially you local vendors. Cutmaster Music's brought on currently 4 new
Mhm.
potential DJs.
Yeah.
Definitely, they've been great at assisting us at events.
They show good potential. I've been
They do.
training. I've been doing like DJ development for a while, and they've been the easiest, most coachable group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I like.
And I was gonna say that, just their willingness to show up on
Exactly.
all aspects has been phenomenal. They're
Mhm.
doing such a great job assisting us and, listening. You could tell that they really take in what we say and appreciate it. So
And
they're
they're from
doing great.
all different. What I really like about them, number one, is that they're like all have DJ'd at some level.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And you could tell they're at different points in kind of like their DJ careers, but all of them are wanting to be successful in the private event
Yeah.
world, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got all ages too, right? And then we've got 2 females and two
yeah.
two guys,
Mhm.
and just one of them is a fluent Spanish speaker. So now we have a Spanish speaking DJ on
Yep.
the
Can
crew,
do-
So
yeah, Spanish
it's-
stuff. He has that pocket perfect. He's right in there.
Very diverse group.
it's
Yeah,
it's
it's awesome.
diverse. It's
Yeah.
cool. Jonah is young, like he's like 19 or something
Yep.
like
No,
that.
he'll be 21 next month.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah, he
Uh,
told me.
I mean, it's a
cool
it's a
kid.
good group. We're
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
So if you guys are listening, shout outs to you, kudos, because you guys are doing a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, where were we?
We were
going?
talking wedding highlights and how good the trainees are. I'm
Right.
trying to think of anything. We did Taylor Swift wristbands. It was
Oh,
the LED
yeah, let's talk
wristbands.
about this.
Nice. Yeah.
Yes, that was a highlight. That was sick. So we had a couple who had attended Taylor Swift concert. They have the LED wristbands. If you're not familiar, they go with the show. It's a fun, extra dynamic to the wedding or any event. Really, it adds a whole nother level of like entertainment.
Exactly. yeah.
So, we. This is for all you vendors out there. This is something I had learned, and I think it's something where like sell it now, figure it out later. Like,
yeah.
and it was definitely one of those. It added a lot of stress to the overall like planning process to figure it out. but we were able to figure it out, and everybody was happy. We worked with a company called Crowd Sync. They do a lot of concerts with a bunch of different shows. Amazon. They did the Morgan Wallen concert. They did a Charlie XCX concert.
Wow.
All kinds of different things.
So a massive company.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they're also trying to dial into these small private end companies
That's
as well,
awesome.
or private event companies, or private events, I should say. And so reached out to them. They were able to make it happen. They sent over everything we needed, the wristbands. They had options for the couples, and then they gave us like a control board, laptop pre-programmed. Everything was super easy on that end.
Wow.
So loved working with CrowdSync. That was awesome. And then we basically had to just distribute them day of.
Yeah.
We had pulled out all these tabs, and they're already pre-programmed with all these different fun shows. And I had my assistant Jonah. We were talking about him. He helped me out. He ran that show while I was
Wow.
DJing. So I would be DJing and be like, okay, a strobe, I'm gonna do a build, cue a strobe, because I'm running lighting here, another lighting
Yeah.
button on the iPad, and then he's doing the wristbands, and it was cool to see the fluidity of it all. One thing I would say was it hits way harder when 10,000 people are having the wristbands.
Yeah.
But it was cool. There were definitely moments where we had everybody putting their hands up. We had Sarah from Mara Jane complimenting the look. We had Brad Tillotson complimenting. He was like, dude, these are sick. You guys are always doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
So shout out Brad. But
Yeah, Brad of Southwest.
yeah, Southwest Wedding Films.
yeah.
Yeah, they were received well. The bride and
Nice.
groom gave us a good compliment at the end of it. They were like, "The wristbands, huh? Weren't they fun?" And so, I think it was something that we never knew we could do until we were asked to do it. And then you're like, "Okay, let's figure it out." And then you figure it out. And now it's an email away. Now all I have to do is email the sales consultant and say, "Hey, we've got a new client. Send me over a quote." And now it's
That is so
streamlined.
awesome.
It's figured out.
Yeah.
So did you hear that, planners? If any of you have a 10,000 person event coming up, we would
Yeah.
I mean,
we'd love to work with you on that. We got
planners, planners out there. It is possible.
Yeah.
Reach out to us, and we can tell you how we can do it.
Nice.
yeah.
Cool.
So that was cool. I can't think of anything else other than rocking the wedding, but I don't want to say standard, but like, we've had great weddings
Exactly.
all season.
Yeah.
4 seasons. I was at La Posada, Old Town Farm, which was fine. Didn't have any real issues there, so that was good. I was kind of concerned, but it was fine.
Nice. So I had a few
Yeah.
as well. And one I want to talk about because I don't think we've discussed it yet on the pod. That was really cool. It was a 50th birthday party that I did over
nice.
at
Yeah.
Los Poblanos.
Mm-hmm.
And this one was pretty special. And once again, we're a company that tries to do things like Tony said, outside the box. We love it when couples or people come with us with these crazy ideas, and we are of the mentality of like, all right, cool, never done it. Let's try to figure out how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And this was another one of those situations where, this gentleman came to us. He was asking about throwing a 50th birthday party at Los Poblanos, which in and of itself I thought was interesting. I was like, wow, that's a
Kind of rare.
hefty investment
Yeah.
for your birthday. And he's always been wanting to do this and wanting to throw a party. And he was like, secretly, I've always wanted to be a DJ.
Nice.
It's like, so I've got to have a DJ at my event. And so I was like, well, why don't we make your dream come true?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I was like, as part of your package, I'll just include, let's have a few sessions, have you come into the office, we'll practice, and let's turn you into the DJ, and have you
Yeah.
rock a set that night. And
Yeah.
he was like, his mind was blown. He was like, what? He's like, we could do that? And I was like,
Absolutely.
this would be like amazing, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so long story short, he came in for, I think it was like 3 or 4 sessions.
Nice.
I let him basically take home a small set of decks to practice on at home, and he got his set together. And his name was Gabe, and we turned him from Gabe into DJ Gabe-alicious. That's
funny.
He came up with that. Yeah, it was cool. So we did all this.
That's awesome.
He was really into like kind of like the housey but like slash EDM vibes.
Okay.
And so, like the track that just sticks out to me with him, I don't know. It's like now every time I hear it, it's associated with this event for life.
Yeah.
It's Galantis peanut butter jelly.
Nice.
Okay,
So for
yeah.
those of you
Spread
that
it like
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So fun.
it's a fun song. So those of you that haven't heard it, go play it. It's a fun track, and go watch the video. It's hilarious.
Is it?
Oh my
Ah.
gosh!
Never seen the video.
The video's so funny.
Okay.
It's a really good song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's not.
Spread it
like coming-
peanut butter jelly.
Dun, 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 dun.
Do it like I owe
know
you
what?
some money.
Let's see if
Money.
we get flagged here. We'll probably get flagged.
Just let Tony just sing over it when Chris.
I got-
Yeah, you're gonna have to sing. So, anyways,
Just give you a taste.
yeah, that's a taste of it.
That's
It's a
awesome.
super fun song, but that was the track. So it was cool. And he came on. I introduced him. I basically was like, "All right, I hope you guys are having a good time." The warm up DJ is I know you thought I was here for you, whatever, but the real DJ and surprise is here for you tonight.
Gabalicious is in the
Gabalicious,
house.
yeah.
And I had all these visuals and videos
Nice.
stuff up on the screen.
That's so awesome.
It was so
See, under promise, over deliver.
And that's what I was gonna say. It's so nice, and even for me, working with a company that I know we can do anything and everything, right?
Yeah.
Even any outside ideas, and just knowing
Let's
that
figure it out.
we can make it happen
Yeah.
for people is so awesome.
yeah.
It makes it exciting for us, I think.
It does.
Versus these same
Absolutely.
old cookie cutters.
I've been saying that with my couples because they are like, well, what kind of music do you play? This and that. And I, of course, tell them about a little bit about my DJ career. And we start talking about what they're into. And I'm like, I want you guys to know, like, if there's something specific you want, I know with my ability that I can make it happen.
Yeah.
Like with my couple, I do play, house remixes and stuff. Not a whole entire set like that for a wedding, but I knew, to my abilities that I could and did, and it was very successful.
Sure.
So, yeah,
All DJs, not all, I don't know all DJs, but, good DJs do prep.
exactly.
And can anticipate songs and do research. And if you want a good set,
Yep,
you're going to prepare right. So
exactly.
Yep. So that one was super fun. I've been actually, I feel like at the event center at Sandia at the golf course
a lot.
a lot. I've been there a lot. And so one of those events, it was actually a same-sex couple, Minga and Sarah. They were awesome and amazing. It was so much fun. Another wedding that had just been almost a year, I think, they've been planning for, and just super excited. And Minga in particular, she always comments on our videos and our socials.
I was going to
Nice.
say that.
Yeah.
I recognize that name.
And she loves everything. And I get excited when I see couples like her and Sarah that they're excited for us. Like we can't wait for our big day. We can't wait for you. And then and when I'm putting out stuff like 90s hip hop, and it's kind of that era is like their pocket. I think
Yeah.
they're like the same age as me. We talked about that. And so
Nice.
they were excited seeing everything that I've been putting out and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And it really was. It was a super fun event, and it went all over the place with music, which was totally cool. From Spanish to hip hop to a little bit of country, top 40. We got La Vida es un Carnaval, like the Latin stuff.
Classic.
Nice.
Love that one.
Some Bad Bunny up in there. It was super fun. And then I had another one at Sandy Event Center this past weekend, and it was very heavy on the country and Latin tip. So, like you all have been talking about, I love wedding season.
Yeah.
Every single event is so different,
Yep.
It really is.
and mine have been all over the place.
Even if they're at the same venue.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I
So-
agree with that.
And we've got October coming up here. That is going to be jamming.
Oh, yeah.
I know
Double headers.
the 18th for
Weddings
us.
every weekend.
We got all four of us
All
out on the
four of us.
18th.
Yeah.
Joe is doing a massive 500 person wedding
Yep.
for us. So
Nice.
I don't know. We got a lot happening. A lot of excitement here at Cutmaster. New crew coming on board. Just
Yeah.
a lot going on,
And
which is partially why we haven't been able to record.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're in the
yeah.
thick of it right
It's
now.
been very busy for all of us.
Mhm.
Yeah. So anything else with current events that you guys can think of?
Not current events, but I do want to mention something cool that happened. Cutmaster Music made its way to Kansas City. I got emailed the other day that they saw me DJ a wedding at La Fonda
Nice.
last year,
Mhm.
and were wondering if I would go to Kansas City to DJ their wedding.
Nice.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Fire.
That is what it's
Love
about.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's so what's funny that you mentioned that because from Minga and Sarah's wedding, they reached out to me about possibly going out to Colorado for I
Nice.
think it's a I don't know if it's a brother or cousin or something
Sure.
like that.
Yeah.
But I told them, let's take a look at it. Give me a date and
Yeah, exactly.
so maybe
Mhm.
we're going national.
Let's do it.
Definitely. I've done it a few times. It's
Yeah.
fun.
You've gone international.
I
Yeah.
definitely have gone international.
Yeah,
Yep,
Tony-
international.
Tony's basically a resident at in Cancun, like resident
Mexico.
DJ.
Yeah.
They told me, they were like, if the DJ's bad, I need you to hop on the decks. I was like, I can't do that. Can you imagine a bride coming up to you and be like, hold on, I've got a guest who's better than you. He's going to take over.
My friend's a great DJ. He's just gonna switch over.
I
with
was
you.
like, I can't do that. If it's bad, maybe, but I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
You just have this soundbite loaded up on your phone and go,
Scoot over, pal.
Scoot over.
buddy.
No, he did good. Yeah, it was really good. He took my song suggestions, which was really nice. But
Dope.
I only suggested like It's Tricky and something else. I can't remember, but It's Tricky hit.
Nice. That's
It was
good.
fun. Yeah, it was fun. Either way, cool.
Nice. Cool. So let's get into our topic of the day, which is basically just some hot takes that we've either come up with ourselves from experience at local or at current weddings,
Yep.
or some of mine have come from social media takes.
Yeah. I have one from a planning meeting.
And so well, let's get into that, and then we want your input too. So if you're out
Yeah.
there listening, we'd love it if you comment and tell us your take on some of these hot takes.
Mhm.
But I think these are some good ones. So I'm gonna start us off, and actually let's start off with I'm gonna play you this clip. So a lot of you and if you don't subscribe to them or watch the Vendor podcast.
I think it's the vendor table.
It's the Vendor Table. Yeah, the Vendor Table podcast. And they're on socials. They've really blown up over this last year and a half. And they had an interesting take here that kind of struck a nerve with some DJs. So I'm going to play this for you, and then we're going to talk about it.
Not play songs. Oh my God, September. I hate
I was just going to say, can we not?
Every wedding's kicked off with September.
Do you remember?
my gosh.
They're showing video of
Oh, okay. It's like every wedding.
yeah.
Well, these are live bands. Every live band knows this song.
So they're going through different clips. Yeah, of them
Saxophone.
at events, right?
Sure.
Not play songs.
All right. So their take is they go in and
Not play songs.
actually let me stop this. I'm looking at the comments. And so they made this post because it was September 21st.
Mm-hmm.
And this has been an ongoing joke with them for probably, I don't know, a long time now. But I thought it was really the comments were, the DJs came for them. They
Yeah.
came hard. And so let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
September at weddings. What's your take?
I think you shouldn't open up your dance floor with September, but I definitely think it should be in there, preferably towards the earlier part of the evening, just because of it's one of the most well-recepted songs anywhere. They play it everywhere, and I get on that same end, they play it everywhere,
Everywhere, yeah.
right? So I think it's kind of specific to the couple, but I know I'm going to play it because it's pretty well received, unless it's specifically asked. Do not play
play it.
September.
Yep.
Then that's easy because then.
And I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't think I've ever seen even,
I've
my
seen it.
couples with super niche tastes. They have never said not to play September. But it's just one of those things. Like, I understand their point of view because they do, they're hearing it week in and week out. So I do understand their perspective. But also, they need to understand that not every single guest, not every single couple is hearing this song every single weekend.
Mhm.
So that is why it is a very overplayed song. It is a classic. It kind of brings in all age groups. You get the younger people, you get the older people, which is something that music does
Rare.
not do anymore.
Yeah.
It is very rare to be able to get a bunch of demographics together all at once. So I think, September not being played at weddings is kind of dumb in my opinion. Just because it is such a classic and it's a fun song. It's a great fun
Yeah.
song
You
at the
can
end
play
of the
that
day.
song at a high school dance, at a graduation, anywhere, and it'll still be received pretty well because exactly that. It's a fun
It's
song.
a fun song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think honestly, it's a song like any other song. It's for me. It depends, right? Like what is the vibe and the mood of this particular event?
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, probably 9.9 times out of 10 for weddings, it is a great track, along with other tracks like "Ain't No Mountain High Enough," Billie Jean,
Celebration.
"Celebration." I mean,
Mhm.
it falls into the category of what I would consider the classics.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and it does. It hits on the dance floor, and as long as our people are going to keep as long as people keep dancing to it, we're going to keep playing it.
Yep.
No matter what song it is.
It's true.
Honestly, we talk about Uptown Funk, and songs go, I feel like, especially like that, even September, that are kind of, they get played a lot. They come in and out of different
Yes.
eras
Yeah,
and
I feel
decades
you.
and stuff.
They kind of like come back to life, die, come back.
Right?
Exactly.
And that's kind of where we're in
It's
this, like,
interesting how songs have that life.
Yep.
I feel like getting to this tail end of the dead zone of like Uptown Funk, because we've had that on a lot of our do not playlists.
True.
I agree.
Yeah.
Don't
That
play
song-
Bruno, don't play Uptown Funk. But I feel like that is even starting to come, like, we're moving out of that, and that's starting to come back now.
Absolutely.
You
I would
know?
agree. 24 Karat Magic, that one does really well
Yep.
as well.
Always.
But I think you have it you have it correct in that it depends.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
I get it a lot from couples who say, we don't want to hear the same old wedding stuff all the time, but they have those songs, Ain't No Mountain High, Celebration, September, on their must play. And
Yep.
it's like, okay, well, let's dial into, let me throw songs at you and see if this song's overplayed.
Absolutely.
You know, and I'll just say random songs, and they'll be like, "Oh God, no! Oh yes, we love it." I had a couple who was like, "We hate hip hop." Okay, what about Get Low, Lil Jon? Oh, we love that song. All right, totally fine.
Yeah.
But what about like Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre? No, not so much. So just dialing in on like their specific needs, because we don't like hip hop as this biggest blanket.
So broad.
Yeah,
Right.
but they like certain hip hop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love some of these comments here. My boy Joe Bunn. Oh, this is so awesome. In fact, he's the one. This comment has 248 likes on it.
Nice. There you
Nice.
go.
He says, "You don't pay my bills. The couples that have this on their must playlist do. 0 given what you guys think about any given song, to be honest."
That is so funny.
That is
Yeah,
honestly
and
so
don't
good.
you want the dance floor to be bumping for your photos?
There you go.
My goodness.
Exactly.
Yeah, if that's going to be the song that gets them there putting their hands up,
Yep.
when the photo's taken, you don't know what song is playing. I'm so sorry.
Exactly.
That just made me mad.
Oh, and here we go.
Yeah, but it's the truth.
DJ Nick Spinelli coming for you, photogs. It's only annoying to photographers because you guys usually leave after the first song.
Boo.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh, man.
It's just like I don't know. Everyone has their lane, and let's stick in our lane.
yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna be coming up to the photographer and say, "Hey, I noticed you're like shooting like this. Maybe
Yeah.
like this would
Uh-huh.
be better." You know?
I noticed you're about to go
So
take
true.
a sunset pic, and you know what? All the other photographers do that. I don't think.
Yeah. Let's
Yep.
not do
yeah,
that.
let's not do that.
Yeah.
No, it's funny, and I honestly, I take this whole thing lightly. I think it's really funny, and they do it for the clickbait is real on
Smart.
this.
Absolutely.
I guarantee that they're going to post some more on that because they're
Good engagement.
they're smart like that.
It is. It's great.
So let's
Good.
be honest here.
Good stuff. Okay, give us one of you guys. Give us a hot take. Let's go.
You want me to go?
Go for it.
Okay. So this kind of plays into, music.
Nice.
So like I had mentioned earlier, some of my couples have a really niche music taste, which kind of does not hit very well with their crowd. It hits well with our bride and our groom and maybe, a small group of their friends. But all in all, what I've been seeing is it does not really translate into just a full open dance party. So I've seen it a little bit this year. I actually saw it the most last year. So I will say, I'll tell you guys my story about last year's couple. Again, super niche, a lot of people on the do not playlist, a ton of people. And one specific person was Pitbull,
Yeah.
Mr. 305.
He's loved or hated.
Yep, he was on the
Ale?
yeah, he was on the do not playlist.
I've seen it.
And maid of honor came up to me and was like, please, just one Pitbull song. I said, you know what? If bride and groom are okay with one, I'll play it for you. She went and asked them. They were like, fine, whatever. Even though they weren't too thrilled about it, and you could
Yeah.
see, biggest song of the night.
Yeah.
Every single person that was sitting down, mingling, every single person was on that dance floor for that song. So, what I would say is, couples, I love that you guys have your own niche music sense, that you guys really like certain artists and stuff, but kind of consider, the event as a whole. Consider the people around you. Does Nana know, Rufus De Soul? Does Nana know, Sophie Tucker, like we're saying? Kind of take things into consideration, and even not Nana, just your sister, your brother, your friends. Does everyone really know these things? And of course, we can throw it in, but kind of think about those things.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it kill a dance floor. I've seen it.
Yeah, and then be strategic about it. Like, if you don't like this certain artist, go get a drink or a cocktail outside, and I'll play that song. That's very common where, like, oh, we don't like country music, but a lot of people do at your wedding day. So when you guys are having shots at the bar, we'll play that to make sure they're taken care of and everybody else is.
I just feel like this is one of those things where we try to set the expectation beforehand, right? And so when you come and tell us that what is important to you is having a great dance party, a lot of people on the dance floor, we want everybody to have a great time, then what you're doing, you're hiring us and trusting us to be able to read the room and create the right vibe, right? And so
organize the music in a way that caters to older, younger, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Reading the room is exactly it.
Yeah, and kind of bridges those gaps. And that's kind of what I did at another wedding. We did mostly like house and new disco, which was totally fun. But what I did to kind of bring people together that didn't know like these super niche artists is played house remixes to more popular songs.
Yep.
So I did a
good
Better Off
answer.
Alone remix to Super Bass by Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
Banger. I did Heads Will Roll by the A-Track remix.
Yep.
Banger, kind of more familiar stuff. And it wasn't, all of that, but it was definitely helping reel people back in. Like, oh, I know this
You
song.
need recognizability.
They want recognizability. They want to be able to scream it. They want to know when to jump on,
I mean, at the end of the day, people dance to music they know.
Yeah, I've learned that a
Absolutely.
lot where you get so excited. You have all these fresh tracks. They just dropped this Friday. They're going to love it.
Yeah.
Nobody knows them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So honestly, even like today, the new Taylor Swift just dropped, right? If you played one of her tracks this weekend, it's not going to go off like
You got to give it
22 would,
Yeah.
or
Exactly.
any of her other like
yeah,
more.
wildest dreams or
Yeah.
whatever,
You
right?
got to let it marinate.
Yeah, it's true. I always say I'll listen to it, but then I'll let Spotify tell me the bangers because you can see
Exactly.
the most played, and then you just go from there and find.
I'll
something.
never forget in my earlier days when you would try to play and break music as a DJ.
Yeah, right.
So
That's what I mean. Yeah.
So the one song that always takes me back to, and after that, I was like, okay, I'm never probably doing that ever again, was Hey Ya by
wow.
Outkast. Because at that time, that song came out, and that was a complete flip of music and how and what the sound was at that
Sure.
time. And even for
Whole vibe.
Outkast, they were very, very hip-hop, and then they went into this almost like top 40 boppy
Yeah.
Definitely.
vibe, right?
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, oh my God, this is a dance floor banger. And I remember because we used to get at that time, different remix pools like Funky Mix and Ultimix. We would get the tracks about a month and a half before they hit the airwaves.
Yeah.
And that's what they were for. They were for breaking music under
Yeah.
the airwaves.
Like
and so
promo type stuff.
Yeah.
that's what it was. And so we would play these songs, and we were doing a lot of like school dances and stuff at that time too. And we would play these songs, and all the kids, or even at my weddings, they would look at you like, what is this? And then a month later, they're all jamming to it. And you're like, I was playing this a month ago.
Yeah.
and you weren't
Exactly.
doing
Well,
this,
like,
right?
check this out. I'm looking at top songs on like 2003, right? Right there, Chingy, PIMP, Lloyd Banks. Where is the Love, Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah.
Nothing sounds like Hey Ya. I'm looking for Sugar Sugar Baby Bash.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they were so going out of Rock With You, Ashanti. They were coming out of left field with that. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep,
It was such
absolutely.
a statement. That's crazy.
It was crazy. And so I remember I was like, oh, they're going to love this. You know, like
Sure.
young DJ, you just kind of, you don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
know any better. And no, they hated it.
They hated it.
And because it was out of left field, they don't recognize it. It sounds stupid. This is dumb. What's this guy playing? And then a month later, they're all
The one.
that was the song.
Yeah.
A month later, it was number one. Like,
Yep.
you got Hey Ya? You got Hey Ya? It was the Bruno Mars, you know, the Uptown Funk of
Sure.
the time or whatever.
Isn't that
You know,
interesting? Like how songs like gain popularity back
Absolutely.
then versus now, and like
Yeah.
how it's a sound bite and like a moment of the song as opposed
Exactly.
to like
And also too, like
so interesting.
I think the internet has influenced people on what they should like and shouldn't like.
True. It's
not-
like cringe to like something.
Yeah, not trying to dog, the people on the podcast that we just played a clip on, but you put out an opinion and then people are like,
Maybe I don't like.
maybe I
something.
don't like September.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I don't like yeah by
Start
Usher.
second guessing.
You know what?
yourself.
Yeah, they're so right. It is played out. But then it's the biggest songs of the wedding. It's the biggest
Yeah.
song at the club.
I mean, right now it's so funny, and I know you old heads out there can relate with me on this. Okay, back in the '90s when I'm in elementary school, middle school, all the girls loved all the boy bands, right?
Yeah.
You had
Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys, and Sync, New Kids on the Block. They loved them, and all the dudes are like, they're terrible, you know, and they hated that. And then we made
That was
fun.
Bieber in my day.
And we made fun of them, right? And now I'm playing. Those are like the throwbacks, the old school stuff that
Yep.
you're playing at weddings. And who's screaming the loudest on the dance floor? The dudes.
All
Yeah.
the dudes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
Screaming Poison.
it's driving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's so. I mean, it's just so funny,
No,
right?
it's the exact same thing with Justin Bieber. So I'm about 10 years younger than you.
Yeah.
And it used to be, you listen to Bieber? What are you like? It just didn't make sense to listen to Bieber in 2010.
And now
And
everyone's
now you
screaming
throw on baby.
Boys, girls alike are going
Yeah.
crazy for Baby. Yeah,
Yep, exactly.
I like Beauty on a Beat. I feel like that one slept
Yeah, that
on.
one's that one slept on, and Somebody to Love so
Yes,
slept on.
that
That
one's
one
true.
is like, in my opinion, way better than Baby.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
so
another
much
one.
better.
There's another one that's really good. I'm drawing a blank on it.
Yeah, but
It's okay. I'll look it up.
it's funny how just music tastes and
Yeah.
what happens, and then when we see it like in the private event world, right? And we know this because not only do we see it on our playlists that come through from our couples, but then the requests that come in, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, and just that, like we're saying, like being like familiar with music is such a big thing. Like I've been reading Mark Ronson's book,
mhm.
and even back in 1990, they were doing the same thing. They would play all the funk familiar tracks and then mix it in with hip hop
In the
and
earlier
then
parts of the evening, and then as the night evolves,
They would do it the whole entire night. So
fun.
yeah,
Sprinkle it in kind of
Yep,
throughout.
they would
to-
play that funk and the R&B and Donna Summers and Earth, Wind and Fire.
Yeah.
They would play all that stuff throughout the night because
it.
back in the day, during this time, like he talked about a part in the book where he actually dropped Hypnotize for the first time ever at the club because the promo guy from Bad Boy took it to him.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like, so different back then. They had to also play things that were familiar. That's an art to DJing that I don't think will ever go away.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a little bit different. Like we can't drop music at our private events because everybody is that you've got so many different types of people. I've got young people, I've got
Exactly.
old
Yeah,
people and
nobody
everything
wanna-
in between.
We only have like 2 hours, 3 hours.
Right.
usually.
And I've got all these genres that people like. You have to play what's familiar, right? But if you go to a hip hop club, you can drop new music at a hip hop club. I can drop a new hip hop track and mix it in between because we're all vibing to hip hop. That's what
Yep.
we're there for. I'm there to listen to hip hop. I'm there to listen to a top 40 or EDM,
Yeah.
right? As long as I'm playing EDM with a nasty drop, like
It's usually all right.
it's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Like I can do it, right?
Yeah.
So
Even in that, I feel like when you play one of those songs, you're breaking up the night as a DJ to allow bar sales and all of that
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. But
Definitely.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like
Nice.
it.
Okay, so mine plays into that. It's basically what we're talking about is your wedding day isn't all about you, and you need to think.
What?
I know, right? Crazy. But you just need to think about your wedding guest experience as well. I
Absolutely.
think it's important to put their experience I think it's important to keep it a priority and not just put your music interests, your taste, and shove it down their throat. I think there's excellent opportunities to sprinkle in your interests. You know,
Absolutely.
if you know you love indie folk music, nobody's gonna dance to that, but play it during cocktail hour.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, play it during dinner. Play the songs that you know that will fit those vibes, but like not necessarily dancey, I
Exactly.
guess. But like also too, taking into account that you may not like Pitbull, but everybody else loves Pitbull. You may not like line dances, but everybody else loves line dances.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, this is where I feel like having a great DJ can come into play, right? So you might tell a DJ, you know what, I'm really into indie folk music. And then can we find a way to incorporate it?
Yeah.
And we would tell you,
Find a remix.
absolutely,
Yeah, let's
right?
figure it out.
I would even go as far as just what you just said a minute ago. Like, let's do it this is perfect
Oh,
during
sure.
cocktail hour.
Yeah.
This is
Exactly.
great for dinner.
Mhm.
Like,
Yep.
absolutely, let's do it, right?
Exactly.
And then I feel like also we're gonna find ways to do all the other stuff. So like you may not be into Pitbull,
Yeah.
but I've got to get the point across to you. This is where I have to do a good job as a DJ, and it's hard sometimes to be able to tell them like, look, I'm not going to play 5 minutes of Fireball.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I can do a verse and a chorus and get out, but we get that we feel like we danced to Pitbull, right?
Yep.
And so I'm not going to sit there and make you as a couple dance 5 minutes to something that you may not enjoy, but honestly, it might inject energy onto our dance floor.
Yep.
And that way I can play maybe the remix of the indie folk song
Sure.
and follow it up, right?
Yep.
Or whatever. Like, just I feel like great DJs find a way to articulate that we can do it all, but it depends on your couple and what their expectations are, right?
Yep.
Again, if you tell me I want my dance floor banging, I want tons of people out there, I'm gonna tell you a few things. Okay, it starts with you.
Yeah.
You need to be out there on the dance floor, right?
Absolutely.
And then we're gonna go from there. Okay, you said that you don't like a lot of this stuff, but this is a lot of stuff that people will dance to. They expect to maybe hear.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? What do you
Yeah.
think if I just do like a verse and a chorus, get in and out? It's literally going to be at 30 seconds to a minute,
Yep.
but we can inject some energy onto
Trying
the
to
dance
find
floor.
that happy
Exactly.
medium between
Yeah.
where the client is happy, the guests are happy. But yeah, just trying to remind them that, hey, like this is your day, but if you want it to feel like an overall success, maybe think about their experience
Exactly.
as well.
Love
You know,
that.
and it's not too bad. I think and so couples out there that are listening to this, I'm not telling you to not put a do not playlist together or to tell your DJ things that you don't like. What makes it hard for us is when we get bottlenecked or pigeonholed, when you start excluding a lot of different genres,
Yeah.
right? Like if you tell me like I don't like I don't like top 40, I don't like hip hop, I don't like country, and I don't like Latin music, then it's gonna make it kind of tough, Then
Yeah.
I mean,
They're like, yeah, we love 80s classic rock. That's it. And you're like, all right,
Okay.
well,
and so just being open minded, and I think DJs are gonna do a good job of guiding you, and steering
I
you in the
agree.
right direction, and really find out. And then this is what I would do during my consults too. I'm gonna find out what is it ultimately that you're getting at, that you really want,
Yeah.
and then sometimes we're just not the right fit either.
Yeah.
If you, like you said,
Exactly.
if you want nothing but 80s hair band rock anthems,
Mm-hmm.
and then I walk into your event and I see nothing but cowboy hats and boots,
yep.
we're gonna have a long day.
Hard
Yeah,
one.
it's a
Yeah,
problem.
it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's see. My next hot take is, I would say couples that are going to, if you are going and booking your venue, one of the questions you need to ask is, do you have a noise ordinance or noise and sound restrictions? I would go in and ask this, especially if you are the type of couple that's really high energy. You want to turn up, you want to get loud, you want to, have this banging party and dance floor. Because there are venues out there. We have them here locally. We hear about this all the time. I've been seeing this a lot recently, just on different DJ
I've
like
seen it on social
forums
clips.
and socials,
Yep.
across the nation, that A lot of these couples are booking venues. They're not telling you that they have noise restrictions, or you just don't know. A lot of them are telling you, yeah, we have a noise restriction of 80 decibels. That's literally us just talking in a room,
Yeah.
and you're at
Yep.
80 decibels.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. And so it makes it hard to throw an energized rager, or party, just a party in general, really. I guarantee you, if you went to my wedding over this past weekend, which was nothing but mostly Latin and like country
Yeah.
and the classics, I would say, right?
Yeah.
That sort of vibe. We were well over 80, way over 80
Mhm.
decibels. I mean,
Yeah.
you're in the hundreds,
You said
probably.
your
Yeah.
guest count was like 250 too, right?
Yeah, big guest count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
that's
it
loud.
but it was at
It's loud.
Sandy at the golf course at the
Yeah,
it's
loud.
not the largest ballroom.
No.
No, not at all. Yeah,
know,
but still.
So I would say I would ask and just make sure, because at the end of the day, I know us as a company, I play with house rules. I'm going
Of course,
into
right?
a venue.
Yes.
These are their rules. I have to abide by them. I really don't want to make them upset.
We're most likely going to be back here within a couple weeks.
Right. We play there a
Exactly.
lot.
Yep.
And whatever they say, if we're done if they say, hey, hard stop at 10 o'clock or at 10:30, I'm not messing around with that. These are their rules, and we have to abide by that. So I would just advise you as the couple, read your contracts, ask questions when it comes to sound, because we are seeing that pop up, that there's definitely noise and volume restrictions.
Absolutely.
Have you guys dealt with that at all?
Nothing too crazy. I think a lot of it is look, because
Yeah.
I was in the same venue, like I was talking earlier, and I was concerned about them giving me a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
But I only had a pair of 15s. I didn't have any subs. And it was in a barn, so it's nothing crazy. It was only 60, 80 people. So
Right.
I was like, this
Yeah.
sound is totally fine. I have more sound if we need, but we don't. And they never talked to me, never gave
Nice.
me a problem. I know I've seen it at Nature Point, where it's like there's like a red dot. And so
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
if you go above 90 or something, the red starts flashing, and they're like, no, stop. They'll like to let you know. Other than that, every other venue has been
Yeah.
no sound ordinances. I have one. I have Los Poblanos coming up soon, so
Yeah, but they don't have. Well,
they're
so
usually pretty cool.
they have a sound ordinance but with time, right? Like you have to be
Yes.
done at. I think they try to end them at 10 o'clock, but at the latest 10:30.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit different. I
They're
think.
not hounding you with a decibel.
No.
increase
You
there.
could.
Yeah.
We turn up there at Los
Yeah.
Poblanos all the time.
Um,
And any of the major like ballrooms in town, you don't have to worry about anything there and any of those. So that's nice.
residential stuff.
Yeah.
Venues next to homes.
Right.
Exactly.
They're concerned about volume level.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them too, like I know like Corrales has noise
Well, can
ordinances.
you imagine buying a home and then you're like, great, I moved next to a wedding venue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would suck.
So that happened
As
to
you
me
get
in
older.
Corrales last year. They were
Ooh,
like,
Corrales sucks.
yeah, they were like, we talked to the neighbors, it's fine, because it was like a backyard thing.
Mhm.
By 10:30, 11, they were like, Dad came up to me. He's like, I'm so sorry. Like, we gotta shut down. Like, we're getting complaints everywhere.
Yeah, they'll get fined.
Yeah,
I would
so-
imagine so. Corrales is a whole different beast.
Exactly.
They are
Well,
very
I mean,
weird
so
about
like
it.
areas, especially locally, you've got Corrales, you've got in the valley, a lot of places down by the river. What is the section down there in the valley? I'm drawing a blank right
Is it
now.
like the southern part of Albuquerque, or
No, it's like the northern. What is that section of town called?
like
down there?
Rodania,
Yeah, like it's in there. in that area,
Rodania,
but
Los Poblanos?
yeah, but that section is there. There's
Oh,
a
it's called the North Valley.
no. There's a name for the section of the city there. It's actually got its own
Oh, name.
like name and I
Huh.
think mayor and stuff in there too.
Oh,
it's draw. You guys are gonna.
Is it the fancy houses right there?
Yeah.
the
You guys
big
are.
houses
You guys are
right
gonna grill me on this.
I might
'Cause,
not know it.
but anyways, places like that. I think when you get out to a lot of these kind of like Nature Point, which is honestly that's a venue that's in the middle of a really high end homes out there in the mountains.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Makes it tough.
Yeah.
Just ask the right questions. I
right.
would say make sure
Exactly.
you're doing your research,
Yep.
and if that is important to you,
Yep.
not being cut off or sound ordinances.
Exactly. Yeah, and this kind of goes to my hot take perfectly. Just a timeline. This past weekend we started at 5:30, and we had to be done by 10. And we did ceremony, we did cocktail hour, we
We should
did
talk
dinner.
about that. What happened?
Yeah, so just everything was very crunched in, and everything felt rushed. And then on top of that, there was a lot of little weird things happening. So one, we were stressed out looking at the weather app because
Yeah.
rain was coming our way, and we were outside in the little pavilion area at Hotel Albuquerque, which was already stressful enough.
It's already.
We're
You're already
we
worried.
got trash bags on deck so we could cover speakers, pull them to the.
Mhm.
We had it all prepped. And then on top of that, during ceremony, fire alarms go off.
Oh God.
And sprinklers go off in kitchen, flood the kitchen, and I have to make.
Get out!
Get
Here's some PTSD for you.
Yeah, no, literally, that made my heart like. So,
funny.
on top of that, we couldn't start cocktail hour immediately because the bar was technically inside. So that was interesting. I had to make an announcement that no one, and I mean absolutely no one, for any circumstance can go inside the building until the problem has been resolved. And of course, we had Diaz trying to go use the bathroom and people trying to figure
my
out what's
gosh.
going on. And then, yeah.
That sucks. And then you're like the point a lot of these moments, so they're coming to you for all the information. You're like,
Exactly.
I don't know, lady.
Yeah, and luckily, oh geez,
Jasmine?
it wasn't Jasmine that day. It was Ella, something like that. She was amazing. She was the most kind-hearted person. She was wonderful. Like
Good.
she was so nice and
That's what you need.
helpful. And but yeah, it was just like we're saying, like just weird little things kept happening, and that timeline being so crunched. I only had about an hour and a half for open dancing, and for this crowd, not necessarily my bride and my groom because they were going on a big trip the next day. For their crowd, it was not enough time.
Yeah.
These guys wanted to rage. These guys wanted to turn up, and it just was not enough time to really satisfy them on the dance floor.
Hour and a half
with their
is
needs.
short.
It's so short,
It's
and
quick.
I basically blinked and it was over.
Yeah.
Which
I believe it.
also for me too, and us as DJs, like I was just getting started. I was just getting into my groove. I was just starting to feel things, and then boom, it's over.
And then
So
you're done.
my biggest advice to couples is short timelines. If that's something you guys want to do, absolutely. We won't sway you differently. But just kind of consider those things. Is open dance really important? Do you want to give more time to that? Is there ways that we can maybe switch things around, start ceremony maybe a little bit earlier? And that's basically it. Just kind of think about those things. And it was a hard cutoff at 10 because
You're
of
outside.
the sound ordinance. We couldn't go any longer. And I think Hotel Albuquerque, kind of with everything that happened during the day, I think I ended up playing my last song at like 10:02, 10:05. They were like totally cool with it.
Sure.
So it wasn't like right at 10 they're like enough. I think all the
Oh, it's a
crazy
little more
stuff-
loose because it's a hotel.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think after everything that happened during the day, they were just like, let him get one more song in. Like it
Just
wasn't
have
that
one
big
more.
of a deal.
That
Yeah.
sucks. I mean, I said it earlier. It's a horrible foot to start on. Ceremony's about
Horrible.
to begin, and then the whole place floods. Luckily, they were outside, so
Yeah. And then
nobody
and-
got wet.
And then to me, it was kind of crappy because while we're doing ceremony and they're evacuating the building, there was other weddings going on already in the ballrooms. So
Yeah.
all those
See, that
guests and
sucks.
all that were outside in the
That's
same area
chaos.
we were. It was just, and I give my bride and my groom so
That
much
sucks.
props because they had the best attitude. As soon as the fire alarm went off, my bride even laughed during ceremony. Like, of course this would happen. Like she was in good
You should have
spirits.
opened up a dance floor just with everybody and been like, if you're at a wedding tonight, I need you on the dance floor right now.
Yeah,
That'd have been
for
cool.
real.
So we kind of had that happen a little bit.
Bunch of
So like,
crashers.
yeah, people were kind of walking around, and we had crashers. Like there was just randos there.
Nice.
Like, and I told Solita, she was helping me assist that night, one of our new hires. I was like, that's a good sign when you have other people from wedding
Yeah.
parties please on your dance floor. And then I also told her too, because this was another couple that had, kind of a niche style of music.
Yeah.
I said, as long as our bride is out there, the
matter.
bride was having a great moment. I literally
Mm-hmm.
told her, I was like, this right there is what it's about. As long as our bride is having the best time of her life, whether the fire alarms went off, whether food was a little late, no matter what, this is what she's going to remember.
Those moments,
that's the
yeah,
moment.
mhm.
That's going to be the moment.
So
So,
true.
wonderful
I
time.
nerd out when I see I'll play songs and I'm like, wow, look at the moment we just created. This is fire.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's great. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, it's called Los Ranchos.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
nice.
it's its own village down there.
Um,
They have their own restrictions
I
and
have
everything.
wow.
one at, I believe it's like some type of winery in Los Ranchos.
Yeah.
And my couple's
There's
like,
a few of them.
we're going to get a permit to go later.
Yeah, they
I'm
think they're
like,
going
luck.
to.
Yeah,
No,
not happening.
I literally told them that. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to discourage you from trying. I'm like, but they are so strict
Is it
out there.
Casa Rodena?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that's
Dale.
good luck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's probably not happening.
Yeah. So.
maybe, but I doubt it.
Yeah, everybody tries to.
Yeah.
And we always
Exactly.
end at 10,
10,
10,
yep.
10:30 over there.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Um,
they're hardcore about it there, and it's been like that for a very very
Yeah.
long time.
Mhm.
I would say going back to timelines, the best timeline that I have had this wedding season, we went from 4:30 start time of ceremony,
Mhm.
and then our last dance song was at 10:55. We were done at 11.
Yeah.
It gave us a lot of gap, even just that hour, right?
It's like 6 hours. That's what they say. A lot of
Exactly.
6 to 6.5 hours is
it
your
let
perfect,
everything flow in
wedding
a
time.
way that, like with my other one, just everything felt rushed. I felt really bad for the couple. They're trying to eat, people were trying to give speeches. It was just there was so much happening, but it worked out for them, and I'm glad that they were incredible and had great attitudes towards everything, but also just really consider that. So yeah, the best timeline I have seen was 4:30 to 11 for everything. That's ceremony,
Absolutely.
cocktail hour, dinner, speeches,
I think-
bouquet toss, all that.
This is where having a great planner, I'm going to push it again. It comes into play because
Starting at 3 is so different from starting at 4:30.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, and you want to, it's a fine balance, right? You want to have enough time to do everything that you want, and to give you enough time, but you also don't want too much time, right? Where people get antsy,
drags.
and
It
it
drags.
drags. I had an event recently that happened, where you could just feel guests were ready to get things moving and get into the dancing. I was ready to go with, we basically had speeches that we needed to get done. I'm sitting in the middle of the dance floor with our videographer and photographer. Bride and groom decided they wanted to go to the bar to go grab a drink. I'm not sure why they didn't have anybody bringing one or to them or
Right.
ready, but it wasn't. So I was like, sure, and I'm waiting. And of course, on the way to the bar, they get stopped like 3 or 4 times.
Yep.
And I'm not exaggerating here. When from that moment that they went to go to the bar to the time that we got started, because they got hit again. They got their drinks at the bar, then they got hit by grandpa on the way back, and then by somebody else, and it was getting late. It was over a half hour. It's like a half hour, 45 minutes, and we didn't get to the open dancing until roughly about 9:30. And when we got into open dancing, honestly, about half the room left because it was an older group.
took too long.
It took too long. It was an older group, it was an older crowd. We were there by the casino,
Yep.
and they in some ways kind of self-sabotage their own event, right? So
Timing is
Timing is
a
everything.
lot. Timing is really important. It
Yep,
really does
I
affect
agree.
the overall flow of
And
the
then
day.
and then you got to think about it too. Like we get there, all of us do like the 3-hour rule, 3 hours early to set up before, ceremony and stuff starts. But you think about the couple, you think about the wedding party, they have probably been up since 8 a.m. getting
yeah.
ready.
if
or
not
earlier.
earlier.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that a lot of them are starting at 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning.
It's got moms, bridesmaids,
Exactly.
bride.
Yeah. So, they don't realize it either, but they end up being super fatigued by like 9:30.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been drinking.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like a thing. It's hard.
It's
to,
real.
to do all that in one day. You're cramming everything in, and it can be
Exactly.
overwhelming. Okay, so I've got one that kind of plays into this, where like I think on a wedding day, you can cut certain things, you can pivot. You can't pivot like a sunset if that's important to you.
Yep.
But like your cake, no one cares about your cake cutting anymore. No one cares about seeing the cake cutting anymore. And I think if you are running late, this is an excellent opportunity to not make a moment out of it and just go cut it during dinner. Tell your photographer, we're going to go cut it, take our picture, and then you streamline and can make up some time there.
Yep.
You know what's interesting is I think that's one of the, I guess, formalities or traditional formalities that I've honestly seen more cut out in these last few couple
This
of years.
year, I'm
Yeah.
noticing
Yeah.
a lot. Last year was bouquet garter,
Yeah.
and it's phasing out.
Yep.
Now maybe I'll have some bouquets, but pretty
Yeah,
randomly.
they're not wanting to do
cutting.
announcing the cake cutting. It's like they're like, no, we're just going to go over there and go do it at
Yeah.
some point, and that's it. We don't need to make an announcement
Yeah.
about it or anything like that. I'm digging it, and
Yeah,
it's
me,
fine.
Me too. Yeah, I
Nobody's
like
missing it.
too.
I-
Go ahead,
Right.
Tony.
I had an interesting conversation with a bride like 2 weeks ago, and she was talking about how some guests complained about that, actually. So I thought that was an interesting perspective on
That
how
they didn't do it.
they didn't. Oh, nobody told us they were cutting the cake. We never knew. We would have liked to know, and they were like upset about that.
So I've been
I thought that
asking
was
them
interesting.
during our consults when they talk about that. No, we don't want to make an announcement. Then I'll usually ask them or tell them, just make sure you let your parents know or grandparents or anybody
Nice.
important that might want to see that.
That's a
smart.
great-
Because that's
smart.
usually who it is.
Mhm.
It's usually the immediate family. They want to
Yeah.
see everything.
Sure.
They want everything. In fact, so like this past weekend, the bride and groom, they had it on their itinerary to do the money dance, but there just wasn't a lot of time. And they decided in the moment, you know what, let's not do it. We're not going to do it. And I was like, totally cool. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So we go into open dancing. And if mom doesn't come and beeline it right for me,
Oh, wow.
we got to do the money dance. We got to do the money dance. And I
Sure.
was like, I'm already in it. I'm like, nope. They decided to cut it out, and I kind of
Yep.
cut off mom and just like drop the bomb on her. But a lot of the parents are into these traditional
Yeah.
formalities, and
Yep.
this is what we do. It's
It's
tradition.
Pretty much always a
Yep.
parent.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I would say if you're cutting out if you're going to go do the cake cutting and stuff like that on your own, just let people know ahead of time,
Let the
and
people.
it's fine.
Smart.
It's fine.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion for couples and DJs to tell their couples too.
Exactly.
Right.
And we're seeing it like kind of even be awkward in a sense when you do announce the cake cutting.
Yeah.
Like I had a wedding a couple weeks ago and they're like in the meeting, or is that something we want to announce? They're like, yeah, please, I announce it, they make their way, they gave me a song to play and everything, and everyone's like,
Just like,
yeah, everyone's like,
uh,
why are we doing this?
It's
like that was literally the vibe I got. Like,
Yeah.
why are we doing this? So it and it depends too on your people. It just was one of those moments for this specific thing. It didn't hit. It didn't ring off. No one
Yeah.
cared in a
No,
sense.
like I think most people don't care,
yeah.
except for it's usually, like I said, it's mom and grandma
grandma,
and stuff.
yeah.
That they come. Yeah, we got to do this. We have to do that. And they
Yep.
don't understand modern weddings today.
Mhm.
Aren't
Exactly.
they're cutting out a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
We're not doing bouquets and garter tosses anymore, and any
E-
money dances.
Even the
and-
marchas,
Yeah.
like for like my couple this weekend, they were like, yeah, let's do some Latin, some New Mexican stuff, but the marchas on their do not playlist. So I'm assuming like they just no, absolutely not on that one.
Somebody has
Yeah.
a conversation with them and telling you got to do it. You got to do it.
Exactly.
And they're
You
like,
know
"No, we're
what?
not
Yeah,
doing it."
because that
So what's interesting, because I was going to say that too,
Yeah.
is that I've had a few, and one recently in particular, where a planner is telling them, you got to do La Marcha.
Yes. Yes.
And they're
Ooh.
from like New York. They have no idea what it is.
They don't know what that is.
And I told them no, because they were like,
You don't want that.
They're like, hey, we were told that we should do this. It's called like La Marcha or something. And I was like, hold up.
Yes.
Let me just tell you what this is. I was the first thing out of my mouth is like, do you have leaders? And they're like, no, we thought you could lead it. And I was like, no.
Yes.
Like, that's
No,
not how this works.
That's not what we do.
Let me tell you, and let me tell you why. We're gonna make this quick. You don't need to do it. You don't want to do
Yeah.
it. If you don't have leaders and people that know what they're doing, it's gonna become a cluster.
It's bad.
Don't I don't know who told you this.
Yeah.
That was a bad idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had the same thing where a planner had suggested it, and I was like, "What are you doing suggesting
Why
that?"
would
They
you
don't need.
suggest
Yeah, they're
that?
from the
Yeah.
East Coast.
Yeah.
Their parents live in Santa Fe, so they love New Mexico, but they're not New Mexican or anything about them.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was
Yeah, but I
exactly
picked up
that.
on that too, what you said, like about somebody's pushing them to do it, and that's
Yeah.
why it's not on their do not playlist, because never has it been on the do not playlist. We talk about it, for specialty dances and stuff when we're doing our final planning meeting, but never have I ever seen it
don't think
in
I
the
have, yeah.
do not playlist. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, so I don't. Yeah, that's interesting to me that people will push things just kind of out of for the sake of
You got to do it.
you gotta do it. It's like
Yeah.
no,
So,
really,
yes.
you don't.
So, yeah, bring it back. In that sense, it is about you. You know what I mean? Don't
Mhm.
always keep your guest experience at the forefront, because if you don't want to do that, or if it's really not your forte,
Yeah.
don't feel forced to do it. It's kind of that balance,
Yes.
There's a balance. I think what your wedding day. I would say is the time for you to be selfish,
Sure.
but then also have expectations and
Mm-hmm.
and just understand the consequences of your decisions that you make for your day, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I say make your day. I'm always of the mentality of make the day about you and form around your vision, but
Yeah.
just understand, that the decisions that you make can determine things like flow.
Mhm.
If people stay and hang out longer throughout the night,
Exactly.
the vibe, the atmosphere.
Yep.
And that's where honestly, this is where hiring professionals comes in, because when it comes to a dance floor, who's going to know better than DJs on what works for a dance floor?
Exactly.
If you're you wouldn't come to me asking about photography and for looks, right?
Yeah, I don't know how to
And
do that.
so, don't go to photographers for,
Yeah.
don't come to us for that. And like, you wouldn't go to a photographer. And honestly, yes, you've got planners that they know things on the whole, and they know how to put an event together and how it flows and timelines. They are the experts at that. But go to the experts on, the things that are important to you.
Absolutely.
For a dance floor, hit up your DJs.
Yep.
For a cake, go hit up Darcy.
Yeah,
exactly,
right?
What is it? Simply Sweet?
Yep.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go hit up Brad Tilston if
There's
you
a
want
reason.
videography.
Yeah,
you
we're
know?
doing
This
it.
just all goes back to the beginning. Everyone has their lane. If you need something in that specific lane, ask that specific person.
Yeah.
If you need something concerning music, ask a DJ. If you need something
True.
concerning photography, ask a photographer.
Mhm.
Boom. Everyone has their lanes, and they are extremely they know exactly about those things that they do because they've been practicing them for so long.
Yeah.
How many years have you been DJing?
11.
How many years have you been DJing?
It's my first events this weekend.
His
coming.
first events this weekend, but he knows everything. Don't let him fool you. He's been in this game for
sec-
like 20 some years.
Second
Right.
rodeo. I'm not giving my age, Victoria. What are
Yeah.
you trying to do to me?
But it's yes.
Second wedding this
Trusting
week.
the experts, right?
Asking
Like,
the
that's what
experts.
it's about.
Yep, that's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. I like ending on that note right
Me
there.
too.
Nice.
Go
It's good.
find
Yeah.
go find yourself a wedding expert
Yep.
Trust the experts.
and become buddies.
Yeah.
Become
There's a reason
Yeah.
they do what they do. Let
Exactly.
them do what they do. Give them your taste, but also trust them to do what they do.
I think an expert is going to work with you.
That's
right?
true. I completely
Absolutely.
agree.
And they're going to guide you. Find a guide. All right. I
Like,
think
let's figure this out together.
Yes.
Like you say visions and all this. Okay, let's dive into that.
don't look for a hero, okay? Because if you're looking at somebody and their way is the only way and the way I do it is the best way and this is the way you have to do it, that's not who you want to work with.
Mhm.
Okay?
Mhm.
Because it's not my way or the highway for anything. We are experts in our area and we can help you, but I think I can take your vision and we can figure out a way to make it work and make it happen. But if you as the couple are this is my way or the highway and I want you to play this playlist straight from top to bottom, then at the end of the day I'm probably just going to refer you out to somebody else. And,
Exactly.
So it's got to be a
Absolutely.
two-way street to make the magic happen, right?
Definitely. So,
Absolutely.
All right. We're going to end on that one. We'll see you guys next time. Hopefully it's not another month, but
Yeah.
it's a busy season.
Yeah.
So
it is.
All right. We'll see.
all
ya.
right, keep rocking those weddings. Fight hard, peeps.
Later.
What's on the playlist, baby? What's on the